Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing our reading log for the month of May. Now this month was actually really nice in terms of reading. I actually got to read quite a lot now that I'm looking at it all laid out like this, and I'm really happy with it. I really enjoyed everything I did. I really enjoyed the exploration that we did of science fiction, manga, and light novels, and of course of a few comic books as well. And I want to do this again. I think I am going to try to collect a lot more science fiction manga to have another one maybe in September, like Sci-Fi September, something like that. I don't know, but I just really enjoyed this, and I think it'd be really cool, and I kind of want to keep reading sci-fi, but I also have other things that I want to do. So I don't know where I'm going to be going next month in terms of TBR. I might actually take a break from like what's it called, like exploration type things, and just kind of read what I feel like, because I do have a lot of stuff in my shelf that I need to check out. But let's actually jump into what I read. I'm going to start from the beginning, and I actually wrote everything down chronologically in a way that it makes a lot more sense to me. So I'll actually show you guys everything that I read chronologically. So yeah, let's get started. The first thing I read was Battleship Yamato, or Space Battleship Yamato. I already reviewed this. I think actually I've already reviewed everything except like the last 4 things on the list that I have here. So you guys can just go on my channel and find everything. So Space Battleship Yamato, this is written by Leiji Matsumoto, or at least it's like his kind of creation, but he didn't necessarily do it by himself. And it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's a little bit weird because it is kind of old. But it is a really nice kind of classic collection from Seven Seas, and it has really awesome hardcover stuff. It feels really nice. It's not really like cheap like the Villain Saga ones, and yeah, it has some cool color pages, mostly covers, and story wise I think it's good. The first volume deals with like a closed story, and then the second and third volumes kind of deal with a larger story, as well as like a connection between the first one and the second story. But it doesn't end, which is kind of sucky. I wish it did, and I wish that they kind of explored more of this world. And I know that Leiji Matsumoto technically kind of does in other works, but I wish that like there was more Space Battleship Yamato stuff. And maybe there is, and I just don't know about it. So yeah, really enjoy this. I do want to collect all of the other Leiji Matsumoto works that are available in English, which are quite a few actually. I already bought Harlock, so I already have that. But there's a bunch of other Harlock series that I should check out at some point. There's also another version of Space Battleship Yamato, which is published by Dark Horse, which is a more modern version. And there's also Queen Emeralda's, I think, is the other thing that's by Kodansha, which is kind of in the same universe. So I do want to collect everything and kind of enjoy all of it, but it's going to be a long while before I do that. However, Space Battleship Yamato was really awesome, and it's super cool because it's like a classic space opera, and it kind of informed or kind of inspired a lot of the more modern manga that we see today in the same genre. So that's really cool. I really did enjoy reading this, and I do want to, you know, get more stuff by this author and in this genre. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next, I read some Western comic books. I read Saga volumes 1, 2, 2, and 3. Now, Saga is very interesting. It has so many things that are so similar and so recognizable in a very kind of Star Wars-y type of sense. But it also has its own thing. It has a very special kind of way in which it tells its story that is like very specific to Brian K. Vaughan. And I can't really tell you why I really like this. I just can tell you that I really enjoy it. And my review was kind of tough because, like, if I tell you what the story is by itself, it sounds really boring. But reading it is a completely different type of experience than that. And it's so tough, but Saga is something that everyone should read if you enjoy science fiction and fantasy, and you enjoy space opera, and you enjoy that kind of like fantasy-esque space opera, like Star Wars. This is for you. This is so awesome. It's so good. It's kind of ridiculous and serious at the same time, and it has a very good balance between serious moments, comedy, and action, and it's just so enjoyable to read. I can't wait to pick up more of this, but I don't know when I'll do that because I think it's kind of hard to pick up right now. I'm not really sure. I haven't had that much luck finding good copies of this in a good price. So I'll try to get some more, but who knows when that will be. But Saga is super good. I just recommend everyone read it just because it's just so enjoyable. Okay, after that, I read Spawn, Volume 1. Now, this is very interesting. Spawn is a very old school kind of comic book. I think it's from the 80s, if I remember correctly. And Todd McFarlane wrote this, and he draws it as well. And it's really good. It's really enjoyable. It's kind of like a Batman meets Spider-Man, kind of, but like a kind of with a more like Christian mythology type of thing going on, since it deals with like heaven and hell and like devils and stuff like that. And it's very, very good. It's really enjoyable. The main character is kind of really tortured and kind of has like a lot of emotional problems and PTSD and a lot of these kind of like deep, dark problems that a lot of people face that we just don't kind of care about that much or talk about that much. But there's also a very fun, kind of interesting, enjoyable aspect to the story that I just really loved. The one thing I didn't like was that there was these huge kind of exposition chapters or exposition pages that were just like a whole bunch of writing that was really not enjoyable to read, like these. It just sucked. But everything else was awesome. I really enjoyed the story, and I do want to collect more of these in this style, the Origins collection. But Volume 2, I think, is out of print right now, and I haven't been able to find it, and it's going to be fucking impossible to do so. So I'm going to have to wait it out. I might start collecting the later volumes of it, so I can have them when I do find Volume 2. But who knows when that will be. But yeah, Spawn is super, super enjoyable. I do recommend it. I think it's a really cool story, and the art is awesome, dude. Like, look at this. The art is so good. Let me see if I can find another one of the cool scenes that I like. Let's see. I think I just passed it. Yeah, look at that. Super awesome. I really enjoy the blacks and the reds and the blues. And this really funky green color, it's just so cool. I really enjoy how Todd McFarlane does this stuff. Yeah, next I read Arpeggio of Blue Steel, which is kind of like a mecha girl kind of thing. Basically, it's a post-World War thing, kind of modern day-esque type of situation, where out of nowhere, these sentient battleships just appear that look like World War II ships, and they kind of function as World War II ships, but have mental models, which are these girl-looking things. And the reason why they're girls is because humans refer to their ships as she, and so they just assume that their gender was female, although that's not necessarily true, which was really fun and really enjoyable, and I liked it a lot. It was really cool. I love Arc Performance's ability to draw the kind of mechanical designs of ocean ships, like warships. And I also really enjoy the kind of high-tech technobabble that happened. And I think it's just a cool idea. I really do enjoy this kind of like inanimate war object turned into girl thing. I really like it. I really enjoy the Kantai collection idea, although I haven't really enjoyed any Kantai collection stuff besides the Azur Lane gacha game. Right? It is a gacha game, right? I can't remember. I do want to watch the anime, but I haven't really gotten around to it. And yeah, Arpeggio of Blue Steel is really cool. I really do want to collect more of it. I just have to get around to it, right? So yeah, that was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. This version is the Loot Crate edition. Normally, it actually looks more like this one, but in blue, and the girl that's on the cover is different. But yeah, it's actually this one right there. And yeah, that's all I have to say for Arpeggio of Blue Steel. What did I read next? I think I read Data Live next. So yeah, Data Live, very interesting. I know that it's a huge series, that a lot of people love it. And I think a lot of the love comes from the anime adaptation that happened a few years ago. I don't necessarily know if it's due to the light novel. The light novel was mostly good. I actually did really enjoy most of my time reading this, except for two things. And most of this happened in the third chapter, in the middle of the story, which kind of sucks. And it's because this character, Kotori, who is the main character's younger sister, and also the lolly character that has like a lot of power for some reason. And I just didn't enjoy that the whole kind of premise here was this kind of dating sim thing. The problem wasn't the dating sim itself, was more like how Katori treats the main character, as well as the kind of weird push that that she would have for him to pick the really adult choices that I just really didn't enjoy, because it was like kind of concerning and I didn't really like it, and it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But generally, it was just that aspect, so I actually do like the rest of it. I think it's a really cool premise, and I am going to pick up volume 2. However, I probably will just skip over the Katori parts because I really did not enjoy the way she interacted with her brother more than anything. It wasn't really like her personal style. It was just more like when she was interacting with other characters, I really didn't like the way she interacted with some of them. But overall, it was pretty cool. I did like it. The art here is super, super nice. I really like it a lot. It's so cool. There's a lot of cool power poses and a lot of really interesting stuff going on. But yeah, that's Data Live. Then I read Dirty Pair, which was mostly disappointing. It was kind of not that great. I was expecting something a little bit more interesting and serious, and what I got was basically two really hot chicks with guns just like being really dumb, although somehow managing to be competent. And it was just kind of weird. Like, it was odd, and I didn't really know how I felt about it. I did like the art, and I generally liked the premise, but I didn't like the way the characters acted all that much. Not because I don't like their character personalities, but more because I didn't like how it didn't really make sense with the way the plotline developed. And also the villains were just really boring. There wasn't really anything that special about them, and so it was kind of lame. I ended up reading this and finding it to be enjoyable enough. Like, it was a good time waster, but it wasn't actually enjoyable beyond that. It's not something that I necessarily want to read again, but it's not necessarily something I don't want to have in my collection. It's just very middle of the road, kind of just like, I'll probably read it again sometime. Hopefully I do soon, but if I don't, it's no big deal. I'll still keep it because it's kind of fun. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. It's not that great. It's not that bad either. If you like this art style, you'll probably enjoy the book for what it is. So, yeah. Next, I read Eve and Eve, which is a short anthology collection, a short story collection. It has 6 short stories, and 3 out of the 6 are sci-fi based. The first one, the last one, and I think one in the middle is also sci-fi. And basically, it deals with like these lesbian couples or lesbian characters having some sort of connection with some other character, and we kind of explore something about them. In the first one, we kind of explore 2 women falling in love at the end of the world and then having children via this like magical alien technology. And then the last one is also an exploration of love in a different kind of way, about love and eternity, and how love does not mean anything if it lasts forever, which I thought was really, really cool and really interesting, and I actually liked it a lot. But all the stories in the middle were kind of boring / not that bad. Like, well, I mean, they weren't really boring because they're so short. It's not like you waste any time or feel any like negative emotion after reading them. And generally they were okay. They were good-ish, but they weren't super awesome by any means. The first one and the last one are the ones that most impacted me. So I think it's cool to own as a way to kind of like show Yuri to other people, but not really as a kind of like, oh yeah, this is a great story kind of thing to have, right? So I think that's more because it's a short story collection than because it's like bad. But yeah, this is kind of very personal. I don't know that I can really say I recommend it or not. It's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. If you can find it cheap, just pick it up. It shouldn't be that bad of an issue. It shouldn't be like, it's very unlikely you'll dislike it, but it's not likely that you'll love it either. So yeah, very middle of the road with this one. And that's all I got for that one. Then I read One Piece. I read basically One Piece from chapter 30 to chapter 100. I did try to go back and start from the beginning, but I was kind of bored at the beginning. since I had already read it a few months ago. So what I did was just start at chapter 30, reread some parts that I didn't remember that well, and then continue to read the rest of it to finish out the East Blue Saga, and I loved it. By the end of the series, or by the end of the saga, I actually really enjoyed One Piece. The beginning was really childish, and I didn't love it because the childishness was kind of boring to me, since I am kind of like a 21-year-old. It doesn't really work for me anymore. Like, I don't dislike it, but I also don't love it, which is kind of something I say a lot, and I know this, but like, it's just how I feel, so I can't really not say it. But then as we got deeper into the story, right, and once we got past Syrup Village, and we got into Baratier, I really started to enjoy it. Baratier was just so fun. I really enjoy Sanji. I like his design and I like his style. I don't love the fact that he's a super simp, but generally he's cool and I really enjoy that. And then once we got to Arlong Park, I loved it. Arlong Park was so badass, so cool. I don't like Arlong as much as like Don Krieg, mostly because Don Krieg felt more like meaningful to Luffy specifically than Arlong did. But Arlong is such a big badass villain that I really enjoy, because he is just so meaningful to the whole crew and shows so much about how the crew cares about each other. And although they're basically strangers to each other at this point, they all have trust and belief in each other, and I really like that. It's just so cool. The power of friendship is badass, man, and I liked it so much. It was so cool. I just really enjoyed the East Blue Saga of One Piece, and I can't wait to get into the next thing. I really enjoyed the last few chapters of East Blue, which is Log Town. And I can't wait to get into it some more. I don't know when I'll do that. I'll probably just kind of read a little bit here and there throughout the month. But yeah, One Piece is super cool. I really did enjoy it. I finally was convinced that One Piece is badass, and I'm really happy about it. So yeah. Next, I read Chobits. Chobits is really cool. It's very interesting. It's kind of really poignant and really meaningful for the modern era, but it's not necessarily written in the modern era, so it's like 20 years old at this point. Yeah, because this is a 20th anniversary edition. Yeah, and everything that is talked about here is pretty meaningful to what we see as people today, and the way that people interact with their machines, aka in this case their phone, instead of the Personacom fake Android human looking things. And I liked it a lot. It was very cool. I enjoy the rom-com harem-esque funny comedy bits. Also really enjoyed how meaningful the story is about love and about interacting with things that are not alive but still able to make you feel like they are, which is really cool, and about the kind of development of these fake things that happen to become like real things, and how do you deal with that, right? It's very cool. And it also, like I said, super poignant, because it basically deals with characters that should not but do end up falling in love with their machines, because their machines have enough like there to make them feel like they're in love when they don't, which is kind of like the whole thing that humans do, right? We just attach feelings to other animals and other things just because, and then we kind of just do it. Like I don't know if it's like a well-known thing, but there's like these old posts, I think they were on Tumblr, which is the only good thing that came out of Tumblr, which is like the humans are weird, or the humans are space orcs thing, which is really fun, because a lot of it is like the human pack bonding thing. And it's just funny that, like, you know, people just see something and they enjoy how it is and how it acts, regardless of the fact that humans made it. And then they're like, yeah, I like that thing. I'm going to make it like my pet, and I'm going to enjoy interacting with it, even though it's ridiculous to do so, because it doesn't interact with me. Like, honestly, like really doesn't interact with me. It just like is fun, right? Which is cool. I really enjoy that. And I think it's super important to today, because people are not interacting with other people anymore. We interact with our phones, and through our phones, we feel validation and power and love and interactions with others that aren't really there because of social media and all of this other stuff that happens to come with our phones, right? So I thought it was really interesting and really kind of important to modern day. And I think it's a really cool kind of observation about how technology affects people, which is always really cool in science fiction. So yeah, I thought it was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. I do want to collect more of it, but manga is like in a shortage right now, so who knows when I'll buy it. Yeah, then I went out of town and I took some books with me, and I actually managed to read most of them. So that was really cool. First, I read Division Maneuver, Volume 1. Yeah, this one. Volume 1, which is actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like Ender's Game meets anime, kind of, in a way. Basically, young people are fighting ancient alien things that come to kill humans, and they basically have to take the fight to them. And there's kind of like a whole like issue here with like the way other people treat these guys that fight for them, and they kind of expect them to solve their problems for them. And I don't necessarily think that's the same as it is in Ender's Game, although kind of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But I liked it a lot. I did buy it for the titties, but then I stayed for the story, and that's super cool. I was actually blown away by how much I enjoyed it, and how much I didn't actually care about the fan service, and it was just more interested in the kind of cool battle thing that it had going on, and I liked that a lot. So yeah, I don't really have that much to say about this specifically, especially since I just did the review a few days ago, but really enjoyable. I definitely recommend it if you can find this one and the second one at the same time. Buy both of them, enjoy the story, just relax and let it hit you, because it's pretty fun. It's like a really cool blockbuster movie type of situation that you're going to enjoy over a couple days, because it takes a little bit longer to read a novel than it does to watch a movie. So yeah, then I read Gantz Omnibus 3, which is awesome. Gantz is so cool. I really enjoyed the end of the temple arc, and I liked it a lot. I do want to continue to collect this. Gantz is just so cool. There's so much stuff happening here. There's so much violence and so many attractive people and women, and there's just so many crazy things going on all the time in Gantz, and it's just so cool. I really do enjoy it a lot. There's also so much violence. It's ridiculous, but it's so cool as well. It's just so nice looking. Like, Gantz is just something else, man. It's crazy. I really, really like it a lot. I also don't have that much to say about it besides that, because, like, Gantz is just hard to explain, man. Like, the premise makes it sound really boring, but then you read it and you're like, holy crap, this is cool. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about Gantz. Then I read Gigant, which is kind of by the same guy. This is also Hiroya Oku's work, as you guys can kind of tell. He has the same kind of style. And this one's a little bit different. This is a lot slower than Gantz, but also kind of cool. It has a lot of similar kind of crazy sci-fi alien situations. But this one's kind of different because this is kind of a lot slower, and it deals a lot more with the relationship between our main character and this lady called Papiko. And I guess Papiko is really the main character, and Rei is just kind of like the guy through which we see the story. And it's really interesting. It's basically like there's this website, and if you vote on this website, you can kind of control what happens for a certain day or a certain time. And then the event happens that you voted for, and stuff happens, and it's crazy, and like there's a whole lot of problems going on. And then there's these aliens just hanging out in space that haven't done anything, but you kind of want to know what they are doing. And then we have our lady Papiko, who's a porn star, who has the powers to grow in size thanks to this wristwatch thing that she has right there. And yeah, it's just really enjoyable. It's really odd. It's not as fast-paced as Gantz, and maybe not as enjoyable as Gantz because it's not as fast-paced. But it has a lot of stuff there that I think is going to be really cool and really enjoyable as we let it develop, right? So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes. And I really liked it a lot. Then I read Star Wars Lost Stars Volume 1. This is a 3-volume series. This is an adaptation of Claudia Gray's novel, Lost Stars. And I was actually quite happy with this. I was expecting it to be kind of boring, but it actually didn't end up being so. And this is mostly dealing with kind of a star-crossed lovers turned enemies kind of thing, which is pretty cool. One character is a rebel pilot, and the other one is a girl that works in the Empire, right? I think she's stationed at the Death Star. And we basically have them kind of like doing their own thing, but trying to meet again in order to kind of have their last battle. And the guy wants to save her and the girl wants to kill him. And then we kind of explore their past through most of this volume. And I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It was just really like fun. Well, actually, it wasn't really that fun, but it was really intriguing and interesting. And I really enjoyed the way that the characters just kind of interact. So I liked it. It was really fun. Yeah, and then I finished Division Maneuver Volume 2. Now, the whole story is actually quite good, and I really enjoyed what happened in the second volume because we got like the big giant climax. We also got a different character that introduces a new kind of layer to our main guy, Kuon, and I just liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. We also got to see my man Kuon and his lady Hanabi, the girl right here, just go ham on some crazy aliens. And it was just so fun and enjoyable. And yes, the titties were there and the fan service was there, but that wasn't really the focus. Like the focus, although it is prominent, it's not actually what the story cares about. And I like that. And I really enjoyed that. You know, it was a cool action series. So yeah, I also really liked that it was only 2 volumes because a lot of light novels are huge. They have so many volumes to go through that it's kind of annoying to collect because it's like, okay, fine, you're selling a lot, but I want to finish the story. Just let me finish the story. And then you can't because the light novel has to sell like 20 other volumes before it can end, right? So yeah, really liked that it was only 2. And yeah, then I read Space Knights, which is a harem-lit story, or at least it's written by a harem-lit author, Michael Scott Earl. I've actually reviewed a bunch of his books before, like the Star Justice series, which is Eye of the Tiger, Space Witch, and I think the third one is like something... well, I can't remember the third one. And then I've also reviewed Tamer King of Dinosaurs, Volumes 1 and 2, and Dragon Slayer, Volumes 1 and 2. And it's really good. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like a Halo meets medieval fantasy type of thing that I thought was really awesome. And I can't wait to read more of it. It was really good. I read the audiobook or listened to the audiobook, and it was really good. I really enjoyed the kind of, what's it called? The performance, and I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Not much to say. I do want to make its own review, and I will do it for next month, but I don't want to spoil too much, so I don't want to say much. Then I read Komi Can't Communicate, volumes 11 and 12, and Komi continues to be so enjoyable. I really enjoyed the reshuffling of the cast on volume 10, and I really like just seeing Komi go through her adventures as she kind of does her thing. There's a few things in volume 12 specifically that I really liked. Like, it deals with, like, summer, and I thought it was really funny that she did a whole chapter on taking care of tomato plants, because I've been doing that with my mom for the last couple months. My mom has like a little garden thing. She has like a long box that's full of dirt, and she planted a bunch of different plants, and I've been helping her tend them or care for them. And we recently got a bunch of tomatoes, and we made some Capri salad and stuff. And it was so fun and so enjoyable. And I actually really like that Komi does the same thing, because it was like, oh man, me and Komi are connected, right? And it was really cute. And just, Komi is so fun and so enjoyable. And I can't wait to get more Komi and also get other series like Komi, because we've got Uzaki-chan, we've got Nagatoro, we got Hitomi-chan is Shy with Strangers coming with from Seven Seas recently. And there's another one, I think Naru-chan is In Love With Me or something. I can't remember what the series is called. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that I want to check out that is similar to Komi, or at least in the same vein as Komi, that I just can't wait for, that I really want to collect. So yeah, Komi is just so wonderful, so enjoyable. Komi is the best thing that I always read. Anytime I read a volume of Komi, that's my favorite thing that I read that month. And yeah. Then I read Astra Lost in Space. Now, this was a really wonderful series. I loved it a lot. Initially, I was actually kind of bored by the series. Like, it was just kind of not that great. And I felt like there's a lot of reading and not enough action. But then as it kind of continued, I really grew to enjoy it. And I really liked the whole kind of thing that happens in the last 15 to 20 chapters, because it kind of changes the whole idea that you had about Astra Lost in Space. And I like it a lot. It's a super cool, kind of interesting survival story across space, and it's just so cool. I really enjoyed it. I like all the characters. It was kind of fun, right? Because as soon as you got a character's backstory, that was immediately my favorite character for that time. And then you got the next character's backstory, and I was like, damn, that guy's even better than the last one. But I think overall, I think my favorite characters in that story were Yoon Hua, like the tall girl with the black hair that was a singer, and of course Katana, I can't remember his name, like the captain. Those two are my favorites, and I really enjoy them. I just enjoy the whole crew, and the whole kind of idea of Astra Lost in Space was really enjoyable. And yeah, I want to collect it physically. I really enjoyed it. I read it on the digital Shonen Jump app. And yeah, I can't wait to collect it physically and own it because it's just so enjoyable, so good. And yeah, the last thing I read was A Gravity Boys Volume 1, which is the first 7 chapters according to the A Gravity Boys wiki page. And also very cool, kind of similar to Astra, but a lot more funny and a lot more comedy based. And it basically deals with like this general idea of people that are searching for places where Earth can re-establish a colony or establish its first colony in order to save the planet. And then they just kind of go and do like dumb things, and it's really enjoyable and it's super cool. And I really love the kind of aesthetic choices that were chosen for this series. And A Gravity Boys was just so fun and so enjoyable, and I do want to read more of it. And hopefully we get physical editions of the volumes, because I think they have only digital so far. Because I do want to collect that as well, and it's only 50 chapters, so it's got to be less than 10 volumes, so that would be super cool. But yeah, lots of great stuff to read this month, and lots of awesome stuff and awesome kind of enjoyment that I got out of this month's TBR. And yeah, I'm super happy with everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy all the reviews that I did and all the reviews that are still coming for all the stuff that I read this month. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys later.